Page 423, lesson 7.6 is on finding surface area of prisms. So first of all, surface area is the sum of the areas of its faces. So basically we're taking all the faces, we're finding the areas of each of those, and we're adding those together. One way of looking at it is like if you had a three-dimensional shape, surface area, it's kind of like how much material would it take for you to make that shape is kind of the question. So how can you find the surface area of a prism? If you look at this on the first page, we're not going to go through this whole thing on this example, but it says that there's boxes to pack gifts. So they need to cover each of the boxes with green paper. What's the least amount of paper needed to cover each box? So least amount of paper to cover the box would be finding the surface area. So what they did, they unfolded this, and then basically we've got 6 different rectangles, and we could find the area of one of those. In this case, this looks to be a cube, so you could actually just find the area of one of these and then multiply that answer by 6 would give us the total surface area for this. If you're curious, one side area would be 81 square inches if you do 9 times 9, and then if you take 81 times 6 is 486. So 486 square inches. Now, I've never seen anybody wrap something by just like cutting out individual squares and gluing them or taping them onto the sides. Usually there's extra overlap on the sides and things and underneath. So this is what they're doing in this problem though. So example 1, Kelly wants to cover a shoebox with decorative paper without overlapping the paper. How much paper will she need to cover the box? So what they did is they drew a net of this. They found the areas of each part, and then they added them together. Over on the side, they show how you could use this using a formula. You will not be given a formula when you do the iLearn test, so I'm not really going to work with that part of it, but it does work out. But again, I don't know if it's worth memorizing more formulas to do that. These are all rectangles, so basically just think of what the dimensions are of each part. You can also pair these up. There's kind of like sets of sides, if you will. So like, for example, the front and the back of this box would have both the same dimensions. So if you think of an 8 by 6, 8 times 6, if you find that area and then double it, because the front and back are both identical. The sides are both identical, so those dimensions would be 6 by 10. So 6 times 10 and then double that. And then same thing for the top and the bottom. Top and bottom dimensions are 10 by 8. You find the area of one of those and then double it. And then add all those 6 sides together, then that would be your surface area. The bottom of the page on the try it, they're doing something very similar. So for now, we're going to go ahead and just skip over that one. So example 2, Sam built a storage cube out of plywood. How many square meters of plywood did Sam use for the cube? So for this one, it is a cube. So what's unique about a cube is that all 6 sides are exactly the same. So what you can do, the book talks about this formula. Area equals s squared, and then the surface area of a cube is 6 times s squared. That's fine. Basically, we're going to find the area of one side and multiply it by 6. Okay, we're not going to make this any more complicated than what it is. So we're just going to say the area of one side, we would do length times width. So 0.5 times 0.5, which is 0.25 square meters. That's for one side. And then since we have 6 sides that are identical, we can just take 0.25 times 6. Move your decimal 2 spots. So that would be 1.50 or 1.5 square meters that we need altogether. Okay, again, don't get intimidated by the formulas and stuff that they're showing you on this problem. You don't really need those. All we need to know is the area of a rectangle is length times width. So example 3, we have something different here, is a triangular prism. So they want us to find the surface area of the triangular prism. Again, the book actually shows doing the net of this and then finding the areas. If you find that easier to do, that's fine. Again, personally, sometimes it's maybe a little bit of work to come up with the net, so you don't necessarily have to do that. If you want to just go off of the shape that they gave you, if you can work off of that, that's fine also. So just understand the triangular prism. Basically, we're going to have 2 triangles that are identical, and then we're going to have 3 rectangles. The rectangles are all going to be different because all 3 sides of our triangle are different lengths. So one dimension of the rectangles is all the same. It would all be 18, but the other dimensions are going to be different. So for the triangles, the triangle dimensions here, we can see the base and the height are 12 and 9. So that's why they did 1/2 times 12 times 9, and they got 54. The deal is there are 2 of those. So later on, what they're doing down here for the surface area, they're doing 2 times 54 because we have 2 triangles. So that's the reason why they're multiplying 2 times 54 down there. And then the rectangles are all a little bit different, like I said. For the bottom rectangle, if you can see, the bottom rectangle dimensions are 12 and 18. So if you do 12 times 18, that'd give you the area of the bottom rectangle. We've got the area maybe of the top rectangle, we could say would be 18 times 15. And then we've got the rectangle that's kind of on the back side here, over here. That dimensions of that would be 9 and 18. So 9 times 18 to find that area. And again, once we get those areas, then we're just going to add those all together. And that's how they got the 756 square centimeters. When you do these problems, there is a little bit of work involved with doing it. We want to try to do it neatly so that we can go back and anybody could look at this and easily see what we did in order to find our answer. So try to label your work and circle your answers as you go so that you don't lose track of anything. So if we look at the try-its at the bottom of the page, try-it part A, they want us to find the surface area of that prism. That one, if you'll notice, length, width, and height are all the same. So we could call that a cube. And so all 6 sides are going to be identical to each other. So to find the area of one of these sides, these are squares, which are special types of rectangles where the length and the width happen to be the same. So area of a rectangle is length times width. So you can do 4 2/10 times 4 2/10, which is 17 6400ths. Okay, this is for one side. We can say square centimeters here if we want. As long as you have your units on your final answer, that's fine. So since we have 6 sides that are all identical to each other, once we find the area of one of those sides, we can multiply that by 6, which is 105 8400ths square centimeters. Then if we look at part B, the idea is the same, but obviously all of our faces are not identical on this one. So it's going to take a little bit more to figure out our surface area here. However you want to do this, if you want to start with your triangles, you can. If you remember, the area of a triangle is a half base times height. And remember, the base and the height meet each other at a right angle. So on this triangle, we can see our base is 6 and our height is 4. Those meet at a right angle. We can go ahead and work this out. So if you want 6 is an even number, we can go ahead and take half of 6, which is 3. And then 3 times 4 is 12. Now understand that that is just for one triangle. That's for one triangle. So since we have 2 of them, we'll multiply it by 2. And notice I'm putting some notes here so that somebody just looking at this could maybe figure out what I was doing to get my answer. So 12 times 2 is 24. So 24 square feet for the triangles. I'm going to go ahead and circle that answer. It's not my final answer, but it's a number that I'm going to need to use later when I figure out my final answer for this problem. Another one of our faces we have here is a rectangle. Area of a rectangle is length times width. So this closest rectangle here, 7 times 5 is 35 square feet. And then we're going to have 2 more rectangles. I'm going to move this over so I can have some more space to look. Another part we haven't looked at yet is the bottom face, which is also a rectangle. So the dimensions on that are 7 and 6. So 7 times 6 is 42. And then we've got the left side, we could call it maybe. This side back over here also is a rectangle. So this other rectangle, this is 7, and the other part they're showing us back here also is 5, which would be another 35. So we actually, in this case, happen to have 2 rectangles that were the same as each other. And then once we've got that figured out, it's just going to be adding these numbers together that we found earlier. So it'd be adding together 24, 35, 35, and 42. And that would be 136. So 136 square feet would be the surface area on that problem. If you want to, I was kind of all over the place there with my work. If you guys want to try to do this more organized, that's not a bad idea. So like I could just say I have triangles. We did a half times 6 times 4. And then we said there were 2 triangles, so you could put times 2 after that. And that equaled 24. We had the bottom rectangle that we did 7 times 6, which is 42. And then we had the side rectangles. We did 7 times 5, and there were 2 of those. So if you wanted to just multiply that by 2, and then that's 70. And then you could just add those together, it would be 136. So, you know, it's up to you. That would be a more concise way of doing it. The thing you'd have to watch doing it this way is we didn't write our original formulas down. And so just do this whatever way is easiest for you to work it out and make sure you're getting the correct answer.